title of my message is When All Hell Breaks Loose. Let me start with a question. Have you ever been in a restaurant and maybe your booth is close to the booth next to you and you hear people talking and one is speaking a little loudly so you can't help but overhear what they're saying? By the way, my wife always says to me in restaurants, Craig, don't speak so loudly. And I'll say, I'm not being loud. No, shh, lower your voice. Anyway, so you hear someone in the booth next to you and they say to their friend, now listen, this is a secret and I don't want you to share it with anyone. Now here's the question. Do you put your hands over your ears or do you lean over and listen in? You know the answer. We all listen in. Why? Because we all like to know secrets. Even if we don't know these people and it has nothing to do with us and we've never heard of the people they're talking about, we love to hear secrets. Listen to this. The Bible says the secret of the Lord is with those that fear him. Christians see and understand what is happening in this world far better than unbelievers. Jesus made this statement in a prayer to his Father in Matthew 11. He says, Father, thank you for hiding these things from people that think they're wise and revealing them to people who have childlike faith. God reveals to us, his followers, what is happening in the world because we've taken the time to read the book, and it unveils the future for us. And we look at this world and many are just confused and frankly, they're kind of alarmed and even freaking out because they're thinking, what does this all mean? For instance, a continuing conflict in the Middle East, the moral meltdown in America. What does this all mean? What is happening? People ask. What is happening, folks, is these are signs of the times. And these signs of the times are all pointing up. And they're saying to us, pay attention because Jesus is coming. But as we see this turmoil in our world, as a Christian, we should not despair because God has told us what is going to happen. Now, we're looking at this great prophetic puzzle revealed in Revelation chapter 8. And at this point in our study, chronologically, we're right in the middle of what is called the Great Tribulation period. It will last for 7 years. It'll be inaugurated by the emergence of Antichrist, and it will be ended by the return of Jesus Christ. The first 3.5 years of the tribulation period are relatively calm and peaceful as Antichrist comes on the scene looking like a good guy, a man with solutions, economic solutions, many other things that he brings to the table. He's a charismatic leader. In fact, some will even think he's the very Christ because, as I've told you before, the prefix anti doesn't just mean against, it also means instead of. He'll be a false Christ that will be embraced by many. But at the last 3.5 years of the tribulation period, Antichrist shows his true colors, and the wrath of God is unleashed, and demons are unleashed, and all kinds of crazy stuff is going on. And that's where we're at in Revelation chapter 8. Verse 1, let's read together. Reading from the New King James Version. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about a half hour. And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. Then another angel, having a golden censer, came and stood at the altar. He was given much incense that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar, which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense with the prayers of the saints ascended before God from the angel's hand. Then the angel took the censer. He filled it with fire from the altar and threw it to the earth. And there were noises and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. So the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. We'll stop there. Now a series of judgments fall on planet Earth. A third of the trees are burned up. A third of the sea becomes blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea die. Look at verse 13. And I looked and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth because of the remaining blast of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are about to sound. Woe, woe, woe. It's repeated 3 times. This judgment is coming on you right now. One thing is clear, global warming is indeed coming because the first trumpet targets Earth's vegetation in verse 7. And we see that it will decimate crops and forests, and the air will be filled with smoke and ash. The second trumpet targets the ocean. Verse 8 says something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea.